And our biggest wish this year on the federal level is passing voting rights, right? I mean, this is it. This is the last stop. You know, we see on the national level that we're trying to pass the Build Back Better, the second part, the big social spending bill and immigration rights. And we see some Scrooges trying to get in the way and trying to steal our Christmas cheer and holiday spirit, but good luck, because you can't steal it from us. Because we know that we, again, are like the Who's in Whoville, and we're going to show that really democracy is not about the money and the prezzies. It's about doing what's right. It's about really caring about each other. It's about celebrating all that we are together. So we're so glad you're here. And we have a lot to celebrate, though. We have some good news also under the tree early, and that's the FDA relaxed the restrictions on the abortion pill. Yay, can we hear that that is really helpful to us? And also Governor Northam is going to release his big budget today with all kind of goodies in there that will really help working families. So we're excited about that. And we have an opportunity in Virginia that we want to codify abortion rights. So just a little nugget. If you look at the New York Times article, we're going to drop in the Run a Show. Mariah Carey said it best. We want to codify abortion rights. There's a window of opportunity that we can do in Virginia to put a little pressure on our senators, our speaker, our Democrats to say, can they all come back in special session that they're already in and make it happen? Because we know that in the future, we don't know what will happen, but we can guess that there'll be a lot of Scrooge activity going on. So good for us. We hope we'll have some calls to action around that. So let's get the show started. I'm Katherine White, top troublemaker, and I'm along with Jalecia Ward. How are you,
Katherine? I'm good. How's everyone? Happy holidays to everyone. Thank you guys for joining us today. We truly appreciate you guys coming for our holiday episode. We got a lot of great stuff in store.
Yeah, and you're a gift just to us. We love you. You're great. It's so glad that you're with us. Yeah. We're so excited about today. It's not our normal show. We're just going to have a lot of fun, a lot of surprises, and we're going to walk everybody through that. So I hope that, we get things started. Our show theme is celebrating 2021, memories, experience, and aspirations. And we're just going to rock it out. We have some surprise guests here. We're going to do the holiday spirit. We're going to go to a trip down memory lane. So make sure you have your favorite beverage in front of you. You may want to add a little toddy in there if you want to. And let's get down to show business first. Remember, we love our content. It's on our YouTube channel. We love you to subscribe. We would love to have 10,000 subscribers. So make sure you click on that and then follow us on social media, especially after today, that article. We really want to push around to make sure that can we do everything possible for women and for human rights to make sure that women have access and people have access to abortion. And then subscribe to the Badass Briefing and the Tuesday Tidbits. Stair works really hard on all that. And of course, stick around for the after chat. I'm sure we'll be chattering away today and having a lot of fun celebrating together. Oh, big news. Do I hear something? Oh, jingle bells on this. We're going to have a new link starting January 22nd. So we want to make sure that you sign up right now in the chat. So you will see it go in, click on it now and sign up because we don't want you to miss a thing. And remember, no shows over the holidays because Friday, December 24th, till Friday, December 31st, New Year's, we're going to be taking some time off and we'll be back around obviously on January 7th. So we hope that you mark your calendars and stick around. And of course, let's call up the team. Ho, 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 let's go. Stair Calhoun, Ambassador of Buzz, Robin, Zeph Warner. She's the show wizard and really worked hard today on this show. Rosemary, shortstop, keeping it real. Heidi Dragneff, and what do we call you? The guru. You're our Twitter guru. Okay, Angelisa Ward, of course, is here bringing it and all the sparkle, razzle dazzle. So here's the team, but we have a lot to do today. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, team.
Merry Christmas.
Yay, here we all are. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Here we go. All right, 12:08, right on the dot and on time. Louisa Borowski, the one and only leader of the Grassroots Coalition, bringing the update. Hey,
well, it is great to see everyone. Happy holidays. And with the holidays comes really exciting calls to action for the Grassroots Coalition and all of our wonderful activists in Virginia. So I am looking at
it's okay.
So what I'm going to do is share two important calls to action today in the chat. The first one, Katherine teed up earlier. We are going to ask our Democratic senators to take action now on abortion rights. If you saw the article in the New York Times, which we are linking in our email to them, we are saying, look, we're distressed that we are in the New York Times, and they're basically saying, Democrats in Virginia don't care enough to actually come back and do something about abortion rights because they want to be on vacation. So we're calling on them to take action now. And we have a fantastic one-click call to action that Dennis Orsinger made for us on the website. It is so easy. You just go right in there, click on the one click, and it will go to all of your state senators at the same time. We want them all to know that we are holding them accountable and that we are asking them to take action. So please, 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 if you could do that today, that would be fantastic. I will say the last one click, the first one ever that we had, has had over 50 people send in the information to our state senators. So if you can use this one-click call to action today, that would be fantastic. The second ask is a little bit more complicated, but our redistricting maps are still being considered, and they say they're going to take public comment up until December 20th. And so I'm going to link to a document that kind of walks you through the process of what you need to do to be able to submit those public comments. And it has some examples of really good public comments that have been written up, or articles about the challenges with some of these maps. I would especially like to highlight that Susan Potter wrote a fantastic set of recommendations for CD2, which is linked in there. And Susan just literally posted in the chat, Susan's recommendations were great. I shared them out with the coalition, and people emailed me back and they were like, who is Susan? And how did she write such amazing recommendations for maps? So please, if you can, take and look at, see what Susan wrote if you're in CD2, or there are other recommendations for other areas. Please make sure that they hear from you about our redistricting maps before it's too late. So those are my two calls. And my last call to action is, please take some time off over the holidays, enjoy, have a lovely time. And I'm saying this because it's really selfish, because we're going to need you when we get back. It is going to be one heck of a January with the start of our session, and our Democrats are going to need our support, and we're going to need to be out there really watching what those Republicans are going to be doing. Because as you know, Katherine, they're really good at putting in these bills, and you kind of look at it and you're like, right, on the face of it, this bill looks not so bad. And then you find out what they're really trying to do is something completely horrible. So we are really going to have to be, on the defense, watching, being careful, but then also when we can, we've talked to our legislators, and there's some really good places where we can have some offense this year. So yes, we're going to need you guys to be available and ready to engage. So relax, enjoy the holidays, and then get fired up for January.
A little naughty and nice.
Exactly.
We need to do that. Sometimes we have to be naughty, and sometimes we have to play nice. And I think that we know the Republicans love to play just damn mean, cruel, and everything else. So I hope they wishing a lot of coals out there in certain socks, as we say, but no, I don't really mean that. So thank you, Louisa. It is really about getting ready for the giving season. And this show is going to be really about a lot of giving. The people that really give so much of their time to democracy, to their communities, to everything. So we also, our show, the Friday Power Lunch, you can be a patron, you could support our show. So I want to give a special shout out to Susan Ann Miller, Elizabeth Brigham, Jennifer Kitchen, woo, Josh Stanfield, and Bob Haley for becoming patrons and supporting our show. I mean, that's really a great way of giving to bring some holiday cheer to our work. We are expanding our team, which is great. And we really, by the time the new season starts January 7th, we hope that we just keep building out our team. So we're very excited about that. So I am excited to get to our next segment. And we have the poet, Dorri Scott here. There you are. I didn't get to really say hi to you when you came in the room. Hello, my friend.
It's good to see everyone. Oh my goodness. Happy holidays to everyone. And thank you for having me again.
Of course. I mean, when we talked about building out this show, we were like, well, of course, we're going to reach back to Dorri Scott because you really know about giving, about paying it forward, and this time of year. And I know that you would really set up the show. So I'm just going to hand it over to you. So great to see you.
Just a quick little something for you to sleep on, think about, have some fun with, and enjoy the holiday season. A call simply to action. Not a goodbye, simply so long as the year goes, we have exposed, explained, exercised, and experienced Nova Network, badass women on the rise. Men on the road with us, kids sharing the real thing, the real thing, and the rest, oh well. Can I get a witness? Yeah, I brought it back one more time. Can I get a witness one more time for the ways we bring it to the table, for the days we host this, for the times we holla, and for the ways in which we're going to move it forward? You see, blue ain't dead, but red, it just ain't right. Not for us, not for them. They just don't know because they can't get a witness. So in this uplift, I want you to carry on. I want you to consider the chores and the choices you have ahead of you. Optimistic rhythm, optimistic risks. Swell up, swell on. You are a change agent. We are the change. Work it. Can I get a witness? Call to action right now.
Woo! I'm coming back in. Oh, shoot. I just took, could you put the spotlight back on Dorri? There we go.
Yeah.
Dorri, honest to goodness, can we get a witness in this room?
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us in just some general takeaways from how you approach this season and about really when you think about what is the holiday season really in your mind about for you, and what would you like to impart?
I think that many of you may or may not know, but I come from two places at the intersection of mental health and race, equity, inclusion. And the most exciting thing is, and this is a big announcement, if you are interested in getting on a board that is mostly white males and you want to get paid, you need to talk to me, because I've been working so hard that I have someone that said, can you help train us through my diversity, equity, inclusion, and now I call it belonging work. So I'm interested in talking to you. It's going to be a vetting process, but we need women at the table. And I spoke with a group yesterday, and I'm telling you, I looked around and I said, they were not just mostly white men, they were very white. They did not know about the 1619 Project.
What?
No, girl, man, I'm just saying.
Get some education going on here.
Okay, and I did that, but here's the thing. You asked me, what am I doing? I'm continuing in my space at the intersection of mental health, diversity, equity, inclusion, and now belonging.
No, and the mental health is so important. And I think especially now, I mean, when we're going to the holiday season, it always is sometimes elicits some kind of, for people, not happiness, but sadness.
Sure.
You know, there's all different kind of memories that get evoked and all that. So in your work, do you have any helpful takeaways for people if they enter that space, or what you would say that really can be helpful or meaningful?
I think for each of us, it starts with, who are you really? Not who you present to the world, but who are you really? And I think if you're not able to be with the family that you were born into, you've got to find your own group of men and women that you can hang out with. I'm personally choosing to not be with anyone this holiday season, except those that I live with. I want that space and time to just breathe. I'm also looking at what's happening in the country. So I think the first thing is, who are you really? Using the time to reflect on who you are. And then look ahead. What do you want next? How do you get there? And if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling depressed, all right, here you go. Feel it. Feel the sadness, feel the anger, but you got to walk through it. And sometimes you need a little help. And that's where finding a girlfriend, that's where finding
You brought
another
it.
to help you get through it, because we all need help. And Maya Angelou said it best. Everybody needs a little help sometime.
Yes, and with that, that's a beautiful way to end. I love it, and you're right, feeling it, and also I love the idea of just kind of keeping it simple, staying with your people and not, you know, your family, just small, keeping it small, not worrying about keeping it big. And we see the virus is spreading, as we say, so good cheer, and the virus spread together as sometimes. So thank you, Dorri. You brought it. You brought such great. Can I have a witness in the room for Dorri? Let's give it up for her. And Robin.
Katherine.
Yeah. How are there? You are. Can I get a witness, friend?
Yes.
Okay, let's bring it.
I will be the witness.
Well, I love it. I think, are we all ready? Do we have our special guests? You know, one thing about the holiday season is about children and that spirit. And we have a special guest coming up, and I'll let you take it away from here. Oh my gosh. You're there.
Oh, hi guys. How are you?
Everybody.
Well, thank you, Katherine, for passing it over to me. As you guys know, we have all entered this season of giving, and I am personally excited to announce a nonprofit organization called Feed It Forward that is serving communities in Washington, D.C. We are so lucky to have Josh Sparrow. Hi, Josh. All right, and Julia Sparrow, and they're both joining us today to talk about Feed It Forward and their experience with this nonprofit organization. So Julia, we will start with you. I have a question for you. What inspired you to want to help those in need for this holiday season?
Seeing homeless people at the train station made me feel sad. And so I asked my mom to give them some money or food. And on the train back from New York, I still wanted to help them. I needed to see my friends to make a plan. My dad said he would call his friend Jimmy to see how we could help.
Nice.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Julia, for sharing that with us. I'm glad you felt the need to help. Well, let's ask Josh. Tell us about Adopt a Family project and the family that you guys are supporting.
Right. Well, we actually reached out to my dad's friend, Jimmy, at Feed It Forward, obviously in DC, but and we asked how we could help. They said they were sponsoring a family for this holiday, and well, Chef Antonio, wife had passed away 2 months ago during complications of the labor of her second child, and she was struggling, and she did eventually pass away, and Antonio was left with no one to take care of the kids, and one family with their brand new newborn girl and their 3-year-old son. And Feed It Forward asked us to provide clothes and shoes and toys and other things for the children.
Okay, well, I'm obviously sorry to hear about the loss of Chef Antonio's wife, but I think it's absolutely amazing that you guys got involved, and Feed It Forward was able to step in and contribute. So Julia, tell us how the project is going.
The project is going well. Each night we go to about 3 to 5 homes and ask for donations of money or gifts. Some families want to get their children involved and choose to buy gifts to be donated. We have raised close to $1,000 in donations. We will use the money we receive to go on a giant shopping spree to fulfill their needs.
Oh, wow, this is amazing. Well, Josh, hurry. How can people contribute to this project?
Actually, most people can contribute by donating money, clothes, shoes, and toys. The information is listed in the flyer linked somewhere. I honestly don't even know what you guys.
No, it's fine. We will drop the flyer. We'll drop the flyer. You guys heard Josh. You guys
Link
heard Julia.
And donate money or drop off gifts to the address.
Okay, perfect. We will add the information and we will make sure that we can contribute in any way possible. Thank you guys for joining us. We truly appreciate it. Happy holidays to both of you and keep up the good work. We are proud of you.
I want to say a little hello. Thank you so much. And I see Mom over there on the side. Hi, Mom.
Here. Bye.
Mom, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awesome that you obviously have raised these kids to be so caring and they're just so bring such joy. I just love it. So this is inspirational. We have some little organizers and activists on the way and you guys are great. So have a great Christmas, guys. We're so glad you're able to come in and share about what you're doing.
Guys, thank you.
You know, Jalicia, it's amazing that these kids on the train, they see this, they saw the homelessness and they said to their mom, what we can do, what can we do? And how inspirational that
It's
somebody.
so inspirational.
Yeah, that's so cool. Usually people just say, oh, that's really sad and they move on. So we know, like, again, we have guests coming up on the show that have done the same thing in their life, had experienced something themselves and then made some action around it. So this is very exciting. So thank you for that segment. And where are we going next, girl? Where are we going next?
We're going the video.
Oh, we're going down memory lane. So everybody, let's go. Let's talk about where we've been with the Friday Power Lunch and let's go back in time to see where we are now too.
On the floor of the House debating the certification of the results from Arizona. In an unprecedented move, the presiding officer who had replaced Nancy Pelosi said that we were going to hear a message from the police. We were told that we had to evacuate immediately and that we needed to move very fast, that danger was very close. In escaping to a shelter in the Longworth building, about 150 of us were housed there and couldn't leave for about 3.5 hours. We didn't know whether that would be stormed as well. And if it was, what would that mob do having 150 members of Congress and staff, key staff from the floor at their mercy? It is important for American democracy that all of us have the intestinal fortitude to stand up to this threat. And one of the things I want you to know is my reaction was they are not going to prevail. Threat and intimidation and violence cannot be allowed to prevail. We must resume, no matter what the hour, in that House chamber and count those ballots until Biden and Harris are declared the winners. Because the world was watching what was happening to American democracy. But democracy did prevail. We did take back control of the Capitol. We did resume our business and we fulfilled our constitutional duty.
Even before COVID hit, people were already struggling. And I think there's been a lot of focus on this because of the pandemic and because of school closures and daycare closures. But the truth is, even before, even if we rewind a year, 5 years, 10 years, women have forever really been struggling to manage their paid work with this family caregiving. And folks talk about, oh, well, once we have more widespread vaccinations, then things will go back to normal. I don't want to go back to normal. Normal was really bad for most women. And so what we should be doing is thinking about how can we go back to something that's actually better than what we had before.
It's obviously time, for us to help that fight and help join that fight.
I feel like I found a passion,
Generation Z is a very impatient generation. I'm just going to say it for everyone listening. We are very much so like, we are tired of waiting for change. Change is now.
That, we don't view elections as our finish line. And so when you don't view elections as your finish line, your definition of winning and losing actually changes, right? We didn't lose necessarily, because what we're doing is we're building a movement that provides on-ramps for people throughout the year. So whether they come, and start getting engaged and activated because they're motivated by an election, or because they're motivated by, a generational issue that has impacted their families and their communities for a long time, there's no finish line, right? We're always progressing and moving forward towards progress.
Well, anyways, that was super. I can't, the memories of seeing Krista Jones, of course, touched me, because I'm like, she's right now. Krista Jones was the prior on the show, started with us, and now she's down in Virginia, actually interviewing Pam Northam. And so good for her. We send our best to her, and what great memories to see Gerry Connolly, who's now coming into the room right now. So how about that as a little special gift? So let's get on to what's up next. We're going to talk about yeah, there we go. Thank you for that. It's time for the reminder about, yes, the new link. Could you put that link in there? I want to see everybody register. Let's play a little music. Well, everybody registers for the new season. So we start out with you strong. Go right ahead and do that. And welcome, Gerry. Welcome into the room. We have a lot of great people here, and then we're going to open up to see the next video up. Whoop, is going to be Chris Matthews, Sister's Keeper, to get us into some holiday cheer.
Rage is like fire. It's warm until it's hot. It's quiet till it's not. And these days, they require all the can't stop, won't stop rage that you got. Every time we catch our breath, they try harder to choke out what we've got left. And it's a mad, mad world. If you're a woman or a girl, they don't see us, they don't hear us, till they fear us, till they fear us. And I know this world is hard on you, but come on, we've got work to do. Pay her what she's worth, say that you believe her, that it's her body, her choice, not yours. Be your sister's keeper. Rage is like fire. You can't tell how far it's spread till you're in over your head. And these flames, they burn higher, like a phoenix wings spread, rising back from the dead. Every time we think we're safe, oh, they carve and they chip another one of our rights away. And it's a mad, mad world. If you're a woman or a girl, they don't see us, they don't hear us, till they fear us, and they better fear us. And I know this world is hard on you, but come on, we've got work to do. Pay her what she's worth. Say that you believe her, that it's her body, her choice, not yours. Be your sister's keeper. Lozen and Wilma and Sojourner Truth, Ella Baker, Rosa, Sonia and Ruth. We are the warriors now, like we've always been. These extraordinary times, we were made for them. Liberty and justice aren't just birthrights for men. When our foremothers grit, bought and paid for them. And I know this world is hard on you. But come on, we've got work to do. Pay her what she's worth. Say that you believe her, that it's her body, her choice, not yours. Be your sister's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. Rage is like fire. It's warm until it's hot. It's quiet till it's not.
Awesome. Chris Matthew, always bringing it for the Friday Power Lunch. And I can't think of a better person to follow. Is Andrea Jackson, volunteer. You want to unmute yourself, my friend, from Virginia Organizing. So inspirational. To talk to you yesterday, we had such a great conversation. Activists and organizers are truly gifts to this kind of work we do. And you've done a lot in your life. Just reading over some of the articles you sent, just touched me. All the organizing you've done around the latest protest you did, you were so proud of. Waynesboro Empowerment Group will march for George Floyd when you organized all that. And so much to say, but my favorite story is how you really got started when I asked you from the first Black homecoming queen and the first freshman at Randolph-Macon in 1999, your service in the Iraq War, your life experiences influence you. Can you talk a little bit about that? I just love that you said my really first stab at organizing was running for homecoming queen.
Yeah, so long story short, I was very quiet and like a nerd in high school, so I would never be homecoming queen. So I kind of blossomed later when I went to college, and I felt comfortable to be myself. Yeah. So my peers nominated me to be like the homecoming princess. So then I was like, oh wow, this is cool. So then I was like, yeah, let's see if I can try to be homecoming queen. I mean, it's nothing. It just was something like fun to do. So basically what I thought was, well, I'm a freshman, so freshmen are gonna vote for me. And like Randolph-Macon is a small, predominantly white prestigious school. So the people of color, should probably vote for me. And so I just was like, the whole thing was just sort of like, then I just sort of went to parties and I said, hey, if you are voting with, whoever your sorority or your fraternity is affiliated with, vote for me. And it was just really a good experience just to get to meet people. So anyway, long story short, is I actually did win, and I was like the first Black and the first freshman homecoming queen. And like you said, afterwards, years later, and just like listening to like Bobby Seale and different things of that nature is how, different coalitions are formed, and especially of marginalized people. And so that was just my natural instinct when I was 18. But that really is an actual strategy. So that's always my first experience, and I always built on that experience.
Well, I love it because it's how it informed your passion and enthusiasm talking to people. And so what are some of your proudest moments as an organizer? You're a volunteer organizer. You've been doing this for 26 years with Virginia Organizing. If you want to talk briefly about that group, and then what are some of your proudest moments, and what does that take to be that kind of activist organizer?
Well, I haven't been doing it for 20, like Virginia Organizer have been doing it in Virginia for 26 years, but
Okay,
I've been volunteer with Virginia Organizer for on and off for about 11 years.
Nice.
Like 2010 or probably like 2011. And I was really heavily active in 2012 and 2013. And I really have a love and affiliation with Virginia Organizing, because I just like the way that they organize and how they empower people in the community. And I just, they gave me a lot of opportunities to go to conferences, to go to DC, to work on issues. I worked on expanding Medicare, and they taught me how to present yourself in front of a camera, to also and be like a spokesperson, and then also how to lobby, how to write a letter to an editor, all of these different things. And so I took advantage of it, and I just built on that. At the same time, I had an opportunity to be the first, because I have a trend with, making history. So I was the first, African-American, or, the first Black Democratic chair in 2012 in Waynesboro. And so it was really nice to see just different people. And I think a lot of people like to see change, and they wanted, to me, they saw at this time I was like 30, Black woman stepping out to do something I was unfamiliar with. And so people, would take me aside, tell me about the history of Waynesboro, tell me about organizing or about the Democratic Party and just the procedures. A person that was really, instrumental was a lady. I always like to pay forward and give homage to people that important to me, was a lady named Barbara Lee in Stanton. And she did a lot of stuff with the Democratic Party. And she told me a lot of stuff. So that just is what happened. And then I just, everything I was self-taught, basically.
Yeah. Well, I know we don't have a lot of time with you, but I can tell that we've dropped all your articles in the chat. And you just, what I loved are your takeaway. I mean, you have such a journey in your life from your service in Iraq, and then coming into Waynesboro and just bringing all that compassion and passion to the people there. And you like to empower people where they're at. Do you have a last comment for the holiday spirit to everybody about you?
Yes, it was genuinely why I came back home in 2011 or 2010, because people are like, why are you in Waynesboro? And I say, I was genuinely I wanted to come back to enlighten and, empower and educate people. And my thing is always about educating people about their civic power. And, like I was telling you yesterday, is that, if I can do it, I'm an average person, an average young lady from Waynesboro who just knows my inner power and strength. And I think that if we all have something to give to the world, and so that I really try to live, be the change that you want to see in the world. And I think that each one of us has something to contribute.
Yes, I love it. We're going to end it on that. That is the most beautiful wrap up. So I wish you the best this holiday season yourself, and I hope we keep building power together. It was so much fun. I talked to you for an hour. I learned so much just in that hour of what it takes to be this activist and organizer. Waynesboro is lucky to have you. So thank you, Andrea. So next up, we have a little bit of a video, I think, Robin, yes? Oh, we have Lynlee, better than a video. Hey, Lynlee, how are you doing, friend? And you just had your friend Andrea on. I mean, you guys know each other. You don't live far from Waynesboro, is that right?
No, not at all. And Andrea has been a long time force in the area, and I can definitely vouch for her work, but just the long-term commitment. Yes. Andrea's been doing this for a long time. So I hope going forward, we always make sure that we have an intentional space for people like her to be involved in this work.
That's great. So let's talk about you. Talk about what you bring to the table in this holiday celebration, some of this with the Rural GroundGame that you're a leader of out there in Harrisonburg, but across the rural branch of Virginia. So give us your thoughts on what you see, your aspirations, memories, your thoughts for going into the new year for your work around rural issues and candidates and campaigning or life.
Thank you. Thank you, Katherine. As you know, and we were really honored to have Robin's support. We had a great event Tuesday evening with Senator Kane, Congressman Don Beyer, Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger, Delegate Sam Rasool, and Senator Jennifer McClellan, specifically speaking to what we're going to do going forward to make sure that we are supporting rural Democrats. And what we mean by that is ensuring that we are delivering support in terms of hours of labor. So what that looks like is staff, making sure that our rural candidates are supported in that way. This is work that Rural GroundGame has been doing since 2019 when we first got started as a cooperative. We realized that rural campaigns were not able to fundraise nearly as much as some of our friends in the urban crescent. And our response to that was to team up, to work together and to essentially crowdfund multiple members of staff so that each individual campaign wasn't saddled with the financial burden of employing multiple members of staff when they simply couldn't afford that. Going forward, what we see as a crucial piece of infrastructure is our rural Democratic committees. We want to ensure that they are more durable, more resilient, more empowered, more supported, and that we want to be in service to them, serving them as staff and making sure that we are partnering on messaging across rural communities while recognizing that rural communities are in no way a monolith. And I think a really important piece for Democrats and folks on the left to be aware of and to continue to speak to is that we are not, we have a lot of diversity in our rural communities. We've got Andrea on the call, we have Fennell Norton on the call, probably some other folks that I can't see because I'm not going to scroll down the whole list. But we have a lot of diversity in these communities. We want to ensure that while we are cultivating a deep bench of candidates, not just at the General Assembly level, but for school board, board of supervisors, commissioner of the revenue, these critical roles, that we are also creating opportunities for campaign staff to have paid positions in doing this work, because we want to provide opportunities to folks who do not have the economic privilege to participate simply as a volunteer. We know that people need their time, should mean that we express value by being able to pay them, and we want to have a broader diversity in the work that we do and be very intentional about that.
No, you're right. And I think, again, this has become finally, really, there's momentum around the work you're doing. And I know there's something in the chat about the funding around this work, what it will take. So we hope that we can drop for the holiday season giving, drop that link in there, and also just try to build some big momentum, just increase this going forward, right? To make sure that it doesn't, again, be the best idea, and then we start to just fade away again, back to old habits. So one takeaway for if something under your tree this year, what would you like to have?
Yeah, I mean, that's just real, right? We aren't able to do this work without funding. That's just the reality of it. But I want people to know that we are happy to have transparency is critical to us. The program that we've developed has been not just developed by a small group of people. We have partnered with candidates, with committee activists across rural Virginia for many years to ensure that we have a high level of accountability with the communities that we work in, that we're being deferential to the voices that exist there, and simply we are the stagehands really behind the scenes.
Right.
We aren't trying to be out front with our message, but contributions would be wonderful. We want to make sure that we have a long-term sustained effort. We need to be in a space where we aren't just in campaign mode all the time, extracting votes from people. We need to be deep within community. And we have a lot of work we can do to build from December until the primary is complete, when we kind of switch over into campaign mode. And that's the space we want to be in. We want to make sure that what we learned painfully this last election, where we lost so much ground in rural Virginia, that we don't allow that to happen going forward.
No, and with you out there, we will not, that's for sure. It was great to see the support you had on your event. I saw Don Beyer there, Abigail Spanberger, the representatives from the Rural Caucus. It was 167 in the room just listening. And so take that. That's our gift to you today. Great to see you. And I hope you find that, that money under the tree, as we say. And it's so great to see you. Stick around for the after chat if you can. There may be some questions. So let's do some fun. We know we love to do. We're bringing back the spin of the wheel. We have some prizes. Would it be a party without some prizes, right, Robin? What do we got, by the way? Do we have our Friday Power Lunch mugs, Stare?
No, we have something very special,
What do
t-shirts.
we have? Oh, good, t-shirts. Okay, perfect.
Let's
do
spin.
some jingle, jingle, spin. I love it. Who's going to be the lucky winner for the Friday Power Lunch t-shirt? Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Oh.
Rachel Rifkin.
Woo-hoo. All right.
Let's spin again.
Let's spin again. Don't we love the spinner? It's spinning around. I'll do the action play for people listening on their phone. Ooh, it's landing on. Uh-oh. Gene Hanwich, great friend. Got to know her well this year. Gene, you're a winner.
One more.
One more. Who doesn't want a shirt? All right. Uh-oh, what's that? Is that crazy spin? There we go. I love how you did that spin. It's spinning around and, oh, Pamela. Oop. Good, Del. If you're in the room, all our winners, we have a Friday Power Lunch shirt for you. Do you want them? How do you want them to do it? Message you, Robin, or Stare with address? What do you want to do, Robin?
We have their addresses, so we'll send it out.
Message me. Message me.
But we do want to know size. Oh,
size,
so
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Stare is holding up the shirts. Stare, can you hold them up again? Let me spotlight you.
Put her on the spotlight.
Look at that. Woo. Don't you need a Power Lunch shirt?
Well, if Gerry's in the room, Gerry Connolly, we may have to send him one. I think if we have it, we definitely have, and we have Gene and everybody. Well, let's get right to the next segment because we want to hear from all of our guests. There's another surprise guest up. Jalecia Ward, I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Katherine, for passing me the torch. And you know what? Listen, I guess we'll get right to it. So everyone, welcome Christina Hagan, our Virginia Campaign Director for Campaign for a Family Friendly. See, the family and the friendly, I have to, when you combine it, it's a little tongue tie, right? Economy. So anyway, welcome, girl. Listen, talk to us about what is on the holiday list, your holiday wish list for our family-friendly economy this year.
Absolutely. No, and thank you all so much for having me again and for being such great partners to the Campaign for a Family-Friendly Economy. We've been proud to work with you all for, the last 5 years now, it feels like. And so all I want for Christmas is for Build Back Better to pass the Senate and the House. There are some great things in that package. There's 4 weeks guaranteed of paid family medical leave for all Virginia families, but for all Americans as well. There is universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds. There's an extension to the child tax credit. There are some great climate provisions in there. There's just a lot of really, really good stuff that frankly is just really long overdue. And the particularly time-sensitive piece really is that we had on Wednesday the final 2021 rollout of the expanded child tax credit, which was enacted under the American Rescue Plan. And so the IRS has said that if we want to get those checks to families in the January 15th rollout, that it needs to pass by the 28th of December. So time is of the essence here. I know we've had some really fantastic champions representing us here in Virginia. We're really lucky to have some great leaders in Senator Mark Warner, Senator Tim Kaine. I know Representative Gerry Connolly is coming up in just a minute, but just across the board, I think our Democrats in particular have been such fierce champions for Virginia families. And so want to obviously say a huge shout out, huge thank you to all of them, but let's see this through. Let's get her done.
Listen, we need this done more than anything. I use that child tax care credit personally myself. It helps with myself and my children during this. I'm honestly through this entire year. Let's be honest, right? And let's be authentic. So this is extremely important for all of us. For the rest of us is what I always like to call it. you know, thank you for being an advocate and a champion for this, because this is extremely important. And you're right, we do have strong champions here in the Commonwealth, and we are lucky to have one, and we have one, so many with us today, you know, on this. So is there anything else, Christina, you'd like to share?
You know, and then as we look ahead to 2022, also, let's not let our foot off the gas. You know, I think Katherine gave a really good summary of the election, and I think what Tram said too, referring back to the clip of her Tram Wynn, my colleague over at New Virginia Majority, about how, you know, you can't win them all, but at the same time, we're building a movement here, and we're building towards progress. And we have some critical elections on the horizon in 2022. I know maps are still up in the air, but ultimately we've got to do everything we can to make sure we're continuing to elect great representatives. All of our U.S. House is on the ballot next year. You know, we've got session on the horizon. We've got a paid family medical leave bill. Senator Boysko is carrying it again. And so lots of great things on the horizon. But let's get Build Back Better through. Let's make sure we're electing great folks in 2022 and beyond. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Christina, and happy holidays. Thank you for joining us,
everyone. We hope you find something good under the tree also. Jalissa, thank you for that. That was really awesome. She brought it, and that little gift under the tree. And next up, is going to be our legal pundit for the Friday Power Lunch, always bringing some good stuff to find out what's under his tree and see if he has if he's been naughty and nice too, and what he has in his stocking. Is he going to deliver a little coal to certain people? Now, I saw you on the phone. I was wondering if you were calling up to the White House or Congress to figure out what's going on.
Actually, I was pushing back a call that I haven't won, but
yeah, you're like, let's go, right? Because we have Gerry.
No, this is more important. Hey, first off, everybody, happy holidays, happy New Year. And if I had a chance to give you all a gift and put it under your tree, I know Congressman Connolly loves books. I had a conversation with him about all the books he reads. I'm very jealous of that. But I want to give you something to read over the holidays that will cheer you up, okay?
What is it?
I'll tell you what it is. It's a 68-page opinion, Donald Trump versus Benny Thompson, and it's by Judge Patricia Millett. And if this doesn't cheer you up, then nothing will. It's about the executive privilege that Judge Millett just shot out of the water. And it talks about the ridiculous position of Donald Trump in trying to keep all these records and conversations private. So that's the good news. And I wish I could give you all a complimentary copy, but it was decided November 30th, 2021, U.S. Court of Appeals, D.C. It's beautiful. And it was a topic on Rachel Maddow. And it's not a book, Congressman Connolly, but it's something that I'm going to read. And I think everybody else should read. But let me give you the lay of the land here. Yes. What the House Select Committee to me is doing, as someone who worked for the Department of Justice for almost 30 years, they are a quasi grand jury. It appears that Merrick Garland, who's as honest as the day is long, who's brilliant, he's a little bit Hamlet on the Potomac. He's kind of tentative, he's kind of timid, and he's not looking at the charges that should be investigated. The House Select Committee is essentially the grand jury. Here's my prediction. That committee is going to put together a report that's going to knock your socks off.
Right.
They're going to send it to the Justice Department, and they're going to be forced to convene a grand jury to look at the following statutes that I want you to look at over the holidays. Okay. 18 U.S.C. 1512, obstruction. 18 U.S.C. 2383, insurrection. 18 U.S.C. 2384, sedition. As a prosecutor, Donald Trump has committed all three crimes. Game over, not even close. Those people who entered the West and each side of the Capitol, they were his soldiers. He was the general. He put him into battle. He should pay for that.
Well, after we saw that Fox News link, can we just say that now we see the media, we all knew this, that Fox News is part of the Republican Party, but to see people texting Mark Meadows and all this going on, what did you think about that, where you see these Laura Ingraham and these folks texting
Well, it just shows the hypocrisy. Poor Chris Cuomo, he was giving advice to his brother. Okay, he resigned. I understand why.
Yeah, exactly.
But how was he doing anything different? And I got to end with this.
Yes.
If Bill Barr were the Attorney General of the United States and Bill Clinton or Barack Obama had done the exact same thing that Trump has done, Bill Barr would be indicting people yesterday,
Right.
including the former presidents.
No, I feel like, yeah, there's a wish list there. And so, Gene, I wish you all the best. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I hope you get something good in your stocking. You always bring something good for us to unwrap on the show. We'll have you back, and happy new year and all that good stuff, and love to your better half.
The great Diane, be safe.
Yeah, the great Diane. All right, next up, our special guest to really come and have us close out the show and bring some holiday cheer, we hope, and also just update us. Hi, Congressman Connolly. How are you doing, friend? Good to have you in the room. I don't think you got to see, we played a clip of you when you were on the show earlier with the insurrection. So yeah, before you came in, we had the best of, and you made the best of list because unbelievable. We're here today and still talking about this and waiting for justice. So in general, I wanted to make sure we give you some time to speak to the audience about, just giving some great takeaways about memories and some things about aspirations, and also what you want in 2022 and what you want maybe under your tree.
So let me start by putting something under your tree and Lynlee's. I'm willing to contribute $10,000 to Lynlee's rural effort if we can match it so that it turns into 20,000. So I'll match up to $10,000 if people are willing to contribute, because I couldn't agree with her more. We cannot continue to lose rural areas all across America, but let's start here in Virginia, 90-10. We're going to lose them, but we don't have to lose them by that kind of margin. And we have to revitalize Democratic presence in these communities and dialogue with them about what's in their best interest. So I think that's a really important effort. Yep. So you, Robin and Sarah, are my inspiration. Listening to Lynlee, really inspired me. So I'll make that commitment right here, right now. And that's something I'll put under your tree.
Can we call a friend?
Call a friend, exactly.
Maybe later we can call, like, I don't know, Brock, maybe Don, who has the money that we can just call right now and make, I'm just teasing.
That's cheating.
But I'm naughty like that, and I know I'm teasing you, but thank you. Thank you very much for that. So yeah, moving on with, and what we see today, I know we're reading the front page, trying to see what's going to happen before session closes up on, up on the federal level. Give us your insights of what you think's happening, not only on the insurrection kind of stuff, that's interesting, but also just on some of the bills that you hope to see passed. We're real concerned really about voting rights is probably top on our wish list.
Right. And to me, that's maybe one of the most important things we could do, because all else collapses if we're going to be losing elections because the other side is cheating. They're suppressing votes. They're curtailing the facilitation of voting. They're purging voting rolls. They're cutting back on early voting or eliminating it in some cases. Clearly they already have, been spreading the idea that, hey, voting by mail is insecure and unreliable, so don't do it. Ironically, here in Virginia, the Democratic majority in the General Assembly expanded voting rights, right? We made it a lot easier to vote. And ironically, the first beneficiary of it was a new Republican administration, right? So the idea that doing that necessarily helps Democrats and hurts Republicans is simply false on its face. We just proved it. But even losing an election, hey, as long as things are fair and we're competing and we're facilitating everybody's ability to exercise that sacred right, we'll take our chances. But if you feel you can only win by suppressing and condensing the ability of people to vote, that to me is un-American and antithetical to everything this republic was founded for. And it ought not to be a partisan issue. So we have to, I agree with you. I mean, I think that's our top priority. And I think we got to just get our act together and amend the, the filibuster or eliminate it to allow a voting rights bill. There are two, there's HR1, the For the People Act I voted for, and I'm an original co-sponsor of, and the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, which would restore the Voting Rights Act that was struck down by the Roberts Court. I also am an original co-sponsor of that and voted for that as well. So both of those are awaiting action in the Senate.
Yeah, it seems like great movement in the House on all this stuff. And I even saw that Senator Warner tweeted out about passing voting rights, which gave me great hope around that, because I think that would really be a big morale boost for Democrats and Americans in general, right? That we can feel like, because we can see the writing on the wall. It's already written. We're really entering into super, we're already past the fascism thing. I hate to use that word lightly, but a lot of this stuff is more than a warning. It's the alarms are going off, and what are we willing to do? So thank you for your leadership on that. So what else is on your mind? What's going on? So what else is in your mind that you really want to make sure everybody knows?
So first of all, let me start on, a somber note, but end on something that's a call to more optimism and positivity. We began this year together with me recounting a few days after the insurrection what happened and my own personal experience. And I very rarely ever look at myself on video of any kind, but I have returned to that because it helped me cope with that trauma. And I hope it's a very accurate chronology of what happened that day because it was fresh in my mind. And I want to thank you and this forum for allowing me to have a platform to do that. I just did an interview with 88.5 up here, WAMU, and we sent them that video as the definitive narrative from us anyhow. And we think one of the key narratives of that day. Because not everyone captured their experience that way, and you gave me that opportunity, and I thank you.
That was just kind of like, we call it accidental, but we really right away said, please come on and speak. And I think you're right. I really didn't think about it that way. How you really was a witness way to really. So you would probably eventually may have forgotten that. So it's amazing because it's in the history books now.
Yeah,
for us to remember. We need to remember.
And so we have to remember that. And I agree with Gene that the January 6th Commission is going to be a seminal commission in the history of American annals. I think it's going to come out with a blockbuster report. I think it's not going to pull any punches. I think it's going to lead to indictments and accountability in the judicial system. And I hope it does. Yes. Anyone who participated in that, aided and abetted that, enabled that should be held to account. That's a direct assault on democracy, on our form of government, on our basic freedoms. And no one gets to do that. And so hold them accountable. I'm all for it. And I know every member of the January 6th Commission, and they're stalwart people, committed, highly motivated, very intelligent. They're not partisan, actors and hacks. They're people who want to get to the bottom of what happened and why, and how we prevent it from ever happening again. But the first step is holding people accountable. Having said that, I guess I want to end the new year, exhorting everybody on this Zoom and everybody else we can connect with. It is time for the Democratic narrative, for those of us who care about this agenda, to switch to the positive. There's an old song from the 1940s, you got to accent the positive, eliminate the negative, and don't mess with them, Mr. In-Between. We need to do that. My God, we stopped talking about the fact that at the beginning, in February, March of this year, we passed a 1.9 trillion with a T dollar relief bill that cut child poverty in America in half in one fell swoop. We did transformative things in terms of the social agenda. And yet, in the fall campaign here in Virginia, the narrative was Democrats didn't get anything done. Well, we most certainly did. Now, we also got an infrastructure bill done. Maybe one of the most transformative investments since the 1950s in infrastructure in America, which has got, by the way, we talked about the rural agenda a little earlier with Lynlee, right? It's going to universalize broadband access.
Right.
And that helps especially rural America, which, you know, has spotty or non-existent access to broadband in many cases. And that means we democratize opportunity, educational opportunity, employment opportunity, because so much can be done and is being done remotely, as is this event today.
Right, exactly.
So we need to start talking about all the things we did to make, you know, to help America recover. You know, we're worried about inflation, which we hope will be a temporary phenomenon because of supply chains, because of COVID, and a few other things. But why are we only talking about that, right? I mean, my God.
I know.
Unemployment, which was hitting 20%, is at 4.2%. We had the lowest number of unemployment claims since 1969. GDP growth this quarter may be 7 or 8%. When's the last time we had 8%, you know, economic growth in America? I mean, it's been generations.
The list, the Christmas list, the holiday list you guys have delivered, and in Virginia, what was delivered. You know, we started this media campaign, Democrats delivered. And also, you know, we did it, thank you. I mean, because what we're finding, what we're seeing, and what we know when the new governor takes over here, they're going to take, just like they did on the federal level, they're going to say, oh, we did all this. You know, the economy was good when Barack Obama left it to the Trump administration. It was terrible when Obama was there, and it was really good under Trump, and then it was terrible under Biden. So I think it's what you're talking about is the media and the narrative around that. But if we don't own it, we cannot let somebody else own it. So, so how are we going to do it? Let's do it. I'm ready for a t-shirt. We did it on the back. Oh, look at that. I think Robin's getting us saying maybe time to get happy holidays and wrapping up.
If we talk positive.
Let's talk positive. Yes.
If we remind Americans and fellow Virginians that, hey, yeah, there's always the gloomy, but there's enormous good story to talk about here. And we're the ones who engineered it because they voted against every one of these things.
Yes.
So if you're happy with that child tax credit, if you're happy with that bridge being repaired, if you're happy with your family being secured because you got a direct payment, you know, if you're happy with so much else that we've done, we did it. And we need our support in November. So I want to get off the negative narrative that somehow it's inevitable we're going to lose majorities. No, it isn't. It is not inevitable. And, you know, the great line from Lawrence of Arabia, nothing is written.
And let's end it on that. Nothing is written, but you are right. And we have actually been trying to broadcast this out too, really trying to make sure that we are talking about and owning what we've done, because trying to ask people to start this campaign with us before the new governor takes office and tells everybody he did all this stuff Ralph Northam did. And and lovely, Ralph just cut taxes. How about that? Right. Yep. So let's let everybody know. Jerry, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and everybody stay well and healthy.
As I say, Merry everything. Thank you. We hope to have you back. And Donald hopefully is listening. I know he has a new baby for his your chief of staff has a new baby for his Christmas gift. Yep. So Mary, that's great for Donald. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for being back in the room. Thank you for the rural support. We'll let you know if we reach that 10,000 mark, and we'll come after you for that money. Because you know, I'm Italian Slovak. I could take you on. I do have a little Irish in me though, but that will help. All right, Jerry, thank you so much.
Katherine.
And thank you to everybody in the room. We really let it go long today because we wanted just to let the end of the show just kind of spill out into the streets, as we say, having the congressman here to tell us a little bit about that wish list. And we know we've got it delivered. We really did. So let's talk positively. In 2022, that's a great takeaway from all our guests. Thank you to all the guests in the room. You brought it. And remember to follow us on all our social media channels. Help us elevate and amplify all this great content we have. And remember, next week, we will be on holiday break. We will be back on January 7th. So we'll be taking couple weeks off, be back on January 7th. We'll have a great new season with a new link. So get that link. If you have any trouble, Robin, how do you want them to contact, send an email? Just let us know if there's any trouble. You can put that in there. All right, so time for the after chat. We're kind of in it. So let's play the credits and stay in the after chat. We hope to have fun just chitty chatting with everybody.